Let's talk about one of the most decadent placements in astrology. Hola my beautiful lotus flowers, welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you're into nerding out on everything astrology, spirituality, and self-transformation, this is the community for you. Today we are talking all about having Venus in the sign of Leo, and what this means is at the time you were born, the planet Venus was moving through the Leo constellation at the exact moment you were brought into this earth. I'll start the video by inserting a clip that summarizes a bit about Venus for you so you better understand the rest of the video. Then we'll talk about some general traits of somebody who has this placement, and we'll finish the video by talking about some ways that this placement can empower themselves. So I'm not just going to tell you the information and that's it. I will tell you a couple ways to use this information to positively transform your life. Without further ado, we'll go ahead and talk about Venus real quick in this pre-filmed clip. Now, let's start the video with an introduction to the planet Venus in astrology. Venus is the planet of love, creativity / creation, and the material world. Venus actually rules over two zodiac signs, both Taurus and Libra. Taurus is an earth sign and Libra is an air sign. Venus's location on your birth chart will give you more specific insight into what you're drawn towards in the world and what's also drawn towards you. You can think of, quote, what I like and what I attract to remember what Venus means in your chart. In the words of Christopher Renstrom from the Cosmic Calendar, Venus can be summarized into being your astrological perfume. I thought that was an amazing little analogy. Venus is heavily associated with fertility, but this doesn't simply refer to biological fertility. This actually refers more to what we create in the physical world, from art to wealth, etc. So think manifestation. Venus's placement will say a lot about what you might create in this life, what's important to you to create, and what you're aesthetically and romantically drawn to. But remember, pay attention to whether Venus was retrograde at the time you were born, and the way that you can identify that is when you pull up your natal chart, it should show you a little RX, which is the retrograde symbol, next to whichever planets were retrograde in your chart at the time you were born. And I would try a few different sites just to make sure that you don't see that little retrograde, because not every site provides it. But this basically means that a lot of the traits that I talk about, it may manifest as the opposite for you when it's retrograde. This isn't always true. Retrograde can channel itself as many different things, but typically, say your Venus placement is supposed to make you really value someone who's nurturing and caring. Well, if it was retrograde, then maybe you struggle to find somebody who's nurturing and caring, and you end up in a lot of bad relationships. So it could channel itself many different ways, but it is something to pay attention to in your chart and do research on as well. Now let's talk about some general traits of somebody who has a Leo Venus. While we talk about the traits, it's important to keep in mind that Leo is the fixed fire sign ruled by the sun, symbolized by the lion. Number one, due to the sun's rulership over Leo, when it comes to things they love in their lives, whether that be their personal relationships or career, they'll probably tend to assume the more dominant / leadership role in everything that they do. If you're not aware, the sun is seen as the father and life force in astrology, also associated with abundance, energy, happiness. So someone with a Leo Venus will tend to infuse their endeavors with a lot of confident, optimistic energy. Because of this abundant confidence and this need to be seen and respected, this will channel a lot into their more intimate relationships or into the way that they achieve material success or some type of material accomplishments in their lives. So in a lot of situations, whether it's, in their actual romantic relationships or in their dating life, their career, or whatever else you can think of, then they will usually take the more dominant role naturally, because they naturally have this kind of not really parental, but they have this alpha male, alpha female tendency to them, because they tend to be so naturally confident and full of energy. In this way, they will naturally take on those roles, even if they're not trying to, because people will automatically want to look at them. They'll want to, when we see the sun, we automatically want to be outside. It gives us life and it makes us feel good. It makes us feel happy. It makes us want to have fun. It makes us want to smile more. And with the Venus in Leo, this really shines through, this quality of just being magnetic to other people, that the type of quality the sun has for us humans. That's the type of quality that Venus in Leo has. The sun's magnetism, the magnetism of that type of energy really shines through with Venus and Leo, and people naturally want to let them be the leader, or let them be the dominant one, or let them be the center of attention. Second, this person is likely to have the ambition and confidence to go after their wildest dreams. Because Leo is a fixed sign, it means that they tend to have a more stubborn nature to them. So they kind of go after what they want and they don't really listen to other people a lot of time, or it's like their way or the highway type of thing. And this doesn't necessarily have to be bad. For most Leo placements, this can mean, along with all of their other qualities, this can definitely mean that they just know what they deserve. They know what they want and they go after it without question, without listening to other people's opinions or anything. And this is for all Leo placements that are within the inner planets, but it's no different for having Venus in Leo. But since Venus is the planet that is centered around pleasure, Leo Venuses will naturally have this grand vision for their lives, this grand idea of what they want, you know, being surrounded by the best things, the best people, having, you know, all of this attention, living a very royal type of life. And you know, we see, like, we think of Pisces as the dreamer of the zodiac. They usually have these like imaginations that run wild, and it can sometimes mean that they're great at manifesting these visions. Well, with a Leo Venus, there is also that like connection to the material world, but they envision, whereas Pisces is more imaginary, Leo Venus is more connected to the material and the physical. So they really can be great at manifesting physical success for themselves, like physical material wealth, or whatever they consider wealth or success in their lives. They can be very good at manifesting that because they naturally will have the ambition, or just there's such a strong, passionate desire, and they won't be afraid to go after it. But of course, this can channel itself negatively, just like anything else, and they may actually hold themselves back by being lazy, because they may expect all of these things to just come to them because they think they're so worthy of them, and they think they're above working really hard or lifting a finger. Like, they think that there should be a bunch of servants that just bring them what they want and what they desire. So these are, you know, totally different ways that this energy can channel itself with a Leo Venus, but both are very much a reality for this placement. If you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and the bell, and leave a comment down below if you have this placement or if you know somebody who does. And even if you don't, comment your Venus placement down below because I love to know who's watching. Third, having a fire Venus sign can make this person a bit reckless at times when it comes to things they use for enjoyment, such as their finances, for example. Although this reckless or impulsive, fiery behavior isn't just limited to their finances, I used finances more so as an example because we're talking about Venus. So this can be an area of life where the Leo Venus sees it, but not the only area of life. But the overall importance of what I'm getting at is that they can be so consumed by having the next best thing, the next best material thing, the next best person, because Leo, once again, is attached to the sun. And the sun is all about pleasure and celebration and happiness and fun. So because Leo is directly ruled by the sun, we see these themes in Leo. And with them being a fire sign, they will tend to just move very fast. You know, fire is a fast moving thing. It's hard to keep up with. It's hard to simmer down once it's started. And because Leo Venus can be so ran by the material pleasures, by the physical pleasures in life, if they don't watch it, then they may get very like overly caught up in indulging. And, you know, they may think like just because they want something and they desire something, they should have it. Just because they think they are worthy of it, they think they should have it. No questions asked, no slowing down. Like they may think like, well, if I want it, why would I deny myself of it? But, you know, not everything that you want is good for you. So, you know, they got to keep that in mind. Just remember, there is a fine line between treating yourself and overindulgence. Fourth, this placement will want to feel accomplished and seen throughout their lives in some way. Whether this is in the form of charitable acts or being an entertainer of some sort, this individual definitely wants to reign over a domain in their life. And by reign, I mean that they either want to be in a position where they feel somewhat superior or adored by others, or they want to feel like they accomplished something huge in a certain area of life like no one before, or both. This desire is very synonymous with the symbol of the lion that represents Leo. And this is because the lion tends to be a very royal, dominant figure in nature. And Leos are no different. And with the Leo Venus, they really want to be seen. And I mentioned in my Leo Mercury video that Leo Mercuries don't necessarily want to be seen, but they want to be heard. They want their words and their wisdom or their beliefs to be respected and heard by other people. So, they might pursue something like a podcast or whatever. But when it comes to a Venus in Leo, they want to be seen. They want to be coveted. They want to be pampered by others and served by others and made to feel like they are the visual center of attention in that way. This can lead them into more public roles, such as being some type of entertainer, somebody who gains visual respect from people. But not just that, because they have a passion, they have this really deep-rooted passion within them, being a fire sign and being so attached to the material world with Venus in play. They want to do something also that they feel has impact. It has substance to it. They don't just want to be like, some entertainer that's known really quickly for some whatever mediocre pop songs that they made and they blew up for like 2 years and then nobody knows about them ever again. They want to feel like they are owning or dominating a certain area of their industry, of their lives for a very long time to come. And they want to feel like they're making some type of noteworthy addition to that industry, if that makes sense. Lastly, let's talk about how a Leo Venus can empower themselves. Number 1, they may find themselves caught in an unhealthy cycle of overspending and overindulging. As many of us know, overconsumption of anything is very unhealthy. And like I mentioned before, Leo Venus can have a huge, difficult relationship with overconsumption and overindulgence. Although their desire to have the best material items and the best physical appearance can channel itself into them just having great confidence and not caring what people think and so on and so forth, of course, it can also easily turn into something that ends up holding them back because they have unhealthy spending habits. And this is the biggest thing that ties into Leo Venus is unhealthy spending habits, because everything that they want, that a Leo Venus wants, usually has to have money spent on in some way. So they may just move through money so quick because they're constantly feeling like they should be having the next best thing, or they deserve this treatment, or whatever it is, even if they can't necessarily afford it. So if you're a Leo Venus and you kind of notice that you have a difficult relationship with your finances, or you just can't find a healthy balance, it would be very beneficial for you to just start with a baby step when it comes to tracking your finances and budgeting. Because then if you budget, then you don't have to stress, and you can allow for a little portion of your budget to go towards those things that you want while still living comfortably, because you've allocated funds to the areas of life where you were previously not paying as much attention to and stressing over. Number 2, luxurious self-care is a basic life necessity for most Leo Venuses. Although I said they can easily overindulge in the more lavish parts of their lifestyle, they also need this lavishness in their lifestyle to feel happy. Obviously, every Leo Venus is different, and the things that make them feel pampered and taken care of will be different, but overall, having some type of self-care as part of your regimen that is done by other people is very important, because Leo Venus is potentially one of the biggest Leo placements that wants to feel like royalty. They want to feel served by others because, like I said, attached to the lion, they want to feel like the king or queen of their domain. They want to feel like they are special or like they're just somebody. And so having services done on a regular basis, such as getting a massage, mani-pedis, facials, this goes for everybody too. It's not gender specific or anything. This goes for every Leo Venus. If you feel like you're unhappy or something, then try to treat yourself to this. Like, this is very important for you, whether you're conscious of it or not. And this is actually important, I mean, for everybody, but especially for Leo Venus. Once again, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure you don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the bell. You can also hop over to the LaBlue Lotus Facebook community. Link will be in the description box below, where we talk more about using astrology, spirituality for self-transformation. For a more personal side of my journey on the internet, you can head to my Instagram at Marisa LaBlue. And until I release another video, you can watch these if you haven't already, because they'll help you more on your astrological and spiritual journey. Until I see you next time, thank you so much again for being here just the way that you are. Until next time, adios.